Hey everyone, Sam Schipani here from the Bangor Daily News, and today we're going to be drying herbs. The first step to drying herbs is, of course, to harvest your herbs. You want to look for herbs that are disease-free, unblemished, and free of pests. So we're here in the Bangor Community Garden where I have a few plots with herbs that are ready to harvest. Alright, so once you've harvested your herbs, the next step to drying is to choose the best method for the herbs that you want to dry. When you have low moisture herbs like rosemary, a method like air drying is going to work best. Whereas for high moisture herbs like delicious basil, you might want to do something like microwaving or using a dehydrator because it will help remove the moisture a little bit better. Alright, so the three methods of drying herbs that are recommended in Maine for home preservers are air drying, using the microwave, and using a dehydrator. Drying outside or sun drying isn't really recommended in the state because of our weather patterns. We don't really have day after day of dry, low moisture, hot conditions that you need to dry herbs outside. And drying in the oven just isn't efficient. Plus, a lot of the home ovens that we have in Maine don't go down to temperatures low enough suited to dry herbs. Alright, so let's start with drying herbs by air drying. All you're going to need is some string, some paper bags, rubber bands, and a pair of scissors. What we're going to do now is tie a few sprigs of these low moisture herbs, in this case we have rosemary, together. Maybe we'll throw some sage in there. Sage is a little higher moisture, but if I wait the right amount of time, air drying should still work. And what we're going to do eventually is to tie all of these onto this string and hang it in a cool, dry place. A closet or a cabinet would work really well. Something like a basement might not be a great idea, as a lot of basements in Maine tend to retain moisture. Another thing that you might consider doing is covering your hanging herbs in a paper bag with a few holes in it to prevent it from molding or collecting too much moisture. This will keep things like dust and pet dander off of your drying herbs. So we have them hanging in here, and we'll keep them in here for 1 to 2 weeks depending on the herb. You should check them at least weekly to see how they're doing, and when they're ready, they'll crumble easily in your hand. Microwaving is going to work a little bit better and admittedly faster for herbs that are higher moisture, especially if you have smaller quantities of them and are able to do them in batches. So here we have a few sprigs of cilantro fresh from my community garden. You don't want to put too many into the microwave at once or else they won't be able to properly dry. And what you're going to do is sandwich these herbs between 2 paper towels and microwave them in 30-second bursts until they crumble easily in your hand. So here we go. We're moving over the microwave. See, we got some nice crumbly cilantro that is ready for storage. So the last method I'm going to be exploring today is using a commercial dehydrator to dry a large quantity of various herbs. Once again, this method is going to be better for higher moisture herbs, but it really gives you the freedom and the wiggle room to do all sorts. The commercial dehydrator is going to be a little bit faster than a lot of your conventional air drying methods, maybe not quite so fast as the microwave if you have herbs that are well suited to that, but it is also going to require some more upfront capital costs than your other methods. If you're really into drying herbs though, it might be worth the investment. Alright, so we're going to just put a smorgasbord of herbs on this dehydrator and see where it takes us. So depending on the dehydrator that you have, dehydrating herbs can take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, also depending on the moisture content of your herbs that you're drying. But if we look here, we can see that we've made some pretty great progress so far. And some of our herbs, including the cilantro, is just about done. Once your herbs are dry, you're going to want to store them in a cool, dry location in an airtight container. Dried herbs can stay good for years, but you really want to use them within the first year after you've dried them. Then they'll have the best flavor.